Guten Morgen.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Guten Tag.
Good morning.
Sziasztok. Moyen, bonjour, guten Tag.
Bonjour la jeunesse européenne.
Hello everyone.
We, as one of the top schools of Turkey, are attending this project for the first time and are very happy to be here participating in something that we see as a part of our future.
It is also a great honor for us, for our country, Poland, to be a part of the European Union. The EU made our country better, stronger, and more modern.
In 2004 we were finally brought closer to the West. Since then we are only making more progress to make our country more friendly for the foreigners.
However, now we seem to be making a step back, one after another.
Our current government seems to not understand the power of unity and the benefit it brings.
They are trying to divide us. They are against the EU. Polish LGBT community is being oppressed.
But our generation knows that joining the European Union was one of the best things that happened to our country.
We want equality. We want to help everyone that has to struggle because of their sexuality, color of their skin, or anything else.
We still want to be a part of Europe. Thank you.
Ku Twej dzelaj winiu, aż den mani kurzeme.
We hope that you all realize that today is not the only day to think about our future. That's why we ask you to share today's thoughts in your everyday life. And as the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest, Duncan Lewis sang, "Carry it, carry it, carry it home."
Oh, all I know, loving you is a losing game.
Thank you and enjoy.
I'm from Turkey and my name is Yavuz Salim. I would like to ask you a question about the Brexit problem. As we all know that England might be departed from the European Union, and if it happens, are we going to see a smaller or less effective European Union? I'd like to learn your opinions and pre-signs about this topic.
Bonjour, je m'appelle.
Good morning. My name is Daria, and I am a representative of Romania. I'm extremely honored to be able to ask you my question. The European Parliament, could it not create more enthusiasm in terms of the policy that applies to education systems within the European Union so that students can move between systems much more easily? I think that high schoolers would be very keen to leave and study in another country, to exchange, to learn, and to have a different approach and arrangement for education. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rama. I'm from Sweden. I wonder how the migration should be handled in the Mediterranean Sea and the countries there. Thank you.
My name is Tim. I come from Luxembourg, and my question is, what would happen if the Brexit would be executed, but one day the Britons would regret their choice? Could they come back to join or rejoin the European Union?
What can we do to promote sustainable development? So our first idea was to raise awareness of climate change, especially to our younger generations, because they will have to live in a world where climate change will be on the edge. But not only the younger generations, the families as well, because a big impact is coming from the families. And how we'll do that? By creating TV shows, for example, for children, or other means. So the second idea was to lower the taxes for companies or consumers which are buying energy which is sustainable. The third idea is to invest into sustainable energy, especially for countries which have less money, so they can build renewable energy sources. But first of all, we would make a research where the best regions are to build renewable energy sources due to weather conditions, which will then deliver the energy across the whole European Union. So, another idea was to creating a committee in each country which takes care of environmental questions, which is not influenced by politics. This committee should include experts, professors, scientists, mathematics. And yeah, this will give the topic environment and renewable energies specific importance. Another idea would be to invest in science, like, for example, Nikola Tesla, who had the idea to build an endless energy source with the Niagara Falls, waterfalls. We think that the problem is that we don't go beyond our ideas. We could find other ways of renewable energy than wind energy, hydrodynamic power, or solar energy. Another idea would be by ranking the most ecological countries and analyzing the data from them for educational purposes and improving the environment in other countries which are ranked lower.
So the first thing is that same-sex marriage should be allowed in all member states of the EU. The second is human rights, which cannot be restricted. So human rights are often restricted, but there are a few that we picked out that cannot be. So this is life, torture, slavery, and the freedom of speech and thoughts. The third statement is important and personal information should be shared by the member states, for example, criminal records. So it's a bit like Europol, but we think it should be a bit bigger than that, so that the police of each member state should have the records of the criminals. The fourth statement is everybody has the right to protest against the government unless it puts lives at stake. And the fifth statement is if a member state breaks the laws of the EU, they won't get their subsidy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jacob from Austria. One question about sharing the criminal records. Since laws are different in every country, what records would be shared? Like, since things are illegal in some countries and others they are not, what would be considered worth sharing, what not? Sorry. So what is shared, what is not?
Yeah, so there are a couple of types of crimes. There's administration crimes and there's crimes punishable in court, I think. So the administration are the fines of speeding tickets and minor crimes. So the information that will be shared is the information that is necessary to find a potential terrorist in hiding.
I would like you to raise your hand if you think you're not informed enough by your school about the European elections coming up this week. So I hope the people in the back row see this. So that's where we will start. School awareness is very important in subjects like these. This can go in two ways. We can have courses in every week, or we can do it like twice a year, these lectures coming up before the elections when it's relevant. What the school can do is organize debates where local politicians from every party represent their party at the school and can have some kind of interaction with the students. And where the students can also think about who are they voting for, and it's nice lining up all of the points each party wants to make. We also have this friend right here, and I speak on behalf of all young people. We are borderline addicted to our phones. So to raise awareness for youth, we can do that by social media. So when you look at stories on like Snapchat, Instagram, you always have these kind of ads. So if the EU would invest money in buying these ads and making some kind of EU ads to encourage the young people to vote, because they're voting for their future. Like we saw this morning with the videos, we can do something similar like that in like the form of ads on social media. We can also use our phone for voting. This is not calling the youth lazy, but I think part of the problem with a lot of young people not voting is because they don't want to leave their house just to go vote. So digital voting would be an option. We hope it could actually be a thing because we're voting for our future, and we can raise awareness for young people to go vote because it's important. It's important, guys. Thank you.
The first one is the influence of the EU in the member states should stay the same. Because we think a lot of countries do rely on the EU, but want to decide much on their own. Our second point was every country in the EU should have a minimum wage and decide on it. So every country has to have a minimum wage, but they can decide themselves how much it should be. The third is every country in the EU should talk more about the EU and votings at school. So we think it doesn't happen a lot, just like my neighbor told you guys. Fourth, EU should do more about the fight against climate change, because I think everyone here thinks that's an important topic and we should all do more about it. Last of all, we should encourage countries to support our human rights.
Hello, my name is Benjamin, I'm from Luxembourg, and I want to ask you, don't you think that it's a bit controversial if you say that there should be a minimum wage in each country, but they could decide whether the amount of the minimum wage, because the country could still make a minimum wage, but it would still be impossible for the people to finance themselves.
So every country has its own standard of living. So if the EU introduces a common minimum wage, not every country can follow it. So therefore, a country should decide on its own what the minimum wage should be, because we have, for example, living in France, living in Germany is much more expensive than, for example, living in Croatia or Slovenia and so on. Thank you.
We mainly focused on the distribution of migrants and their integrity in their new society, and they will be facing some cultural differences, and the people they are going to meet are going to be different from their countries. So it was our responsibility to find a solution. And I think we did a great job with our group, so I want to thank them for their job. So our first point is providing easy jobs for them to work. There will be no harsh requirements for them, so that they will be able to work with the local people. They are going to meet each other, and they will do it for a living, so that they will be earning money for that. And this could be even community jobs in maybe different countries, where the country will be providing them with their needs. So our second topic was founding which we named EU company for educated migrants. But of course, this will not going to be only for migrants. This will only include people from people in their local. So this company will also receive applications from migrants and their local people. So and this company is going to accept migrant people, and they're going to be more prone to accept them. And there will be atmosphere where they work and they meet.
I'm Ayşenur from Turkey, and since we have already talked about the different aspects of the refugee problem, my question is, couldn't it affect the welcoming country in a bad way to unstoppable augmentation? So, which means that how will the countries provide the balance between their responsibility and humanity? Thank you.
By welcoming refugees, I think it's a bit humane thing. So, what do you mean that their preserving their culture by humanity?
Well, first of all, there's a lack of information about Youth Guarantee. The students should get more information about Erasmus, and they should get more information to know what to do in their future. Second, every student should have the same opportunity. As we all may know, there are different opportunities in different countries. The opportunity should be the same for everyone in Europe. Education should also be free for everyone. And we are the ones that need to change the future, and we need to show that we are motivated and that we like what we do. Thank you.
How will free learning will improve youth employment?
If I understood you correctly, if you have like a free school system, then you also see what more options that are available. You get to know much more things. You see that maybe this thing is for you, this thing is what you want to do. You see that there's like a special job just for you, just what you want to do, and yeah, you get to know more options. That's everything I want to say.